Hey everybody, it's Brian Asbury, and I just wanted to welcome you to today's episode. If you could, like today's episode, hit that subscribe button, and let's continue to grow the developmentally speaking brand.
Today, my guest is former WWE superstar and four-time World Tag Team Champion, Mr. Sylvain Grenier. Sylvain, how are you, sir?
Phenomenal. How about you, man?
Can't complain. This weather's warming up, and now I'm over in
Where you
India.
at?
I'm in Indiana,
Where
so
you
I'm
at?
I'm about 40 minutes north of where OVW is.
Oh, okay, okay. And do you see Rob once in a while?
Sometimes, yes. So I'm from where Rip Rogers is from, Seymour.
Oh, Rip. Funny character. Funny character.
That's a nice way of putting it. So I'm going to ask you a question you've probably been asked 100 times. What made you want to get
Go
into
ahead.
professional wrestling?
Uh, as a as a kid, I was a fan until I turned teenager. We probably all go that course. We didn't have any attitude era back then, so I will say when Warrior become a champion, those years I lost interest. I was
Mhm.
not a Warrior guy. I liked the energy, but I was a Hogan guy. So, and I kind of fade away. The girls were getting more into my life and sports compared to wrestling. So, and when I start after school, I start working, blah blah blah. I never pay attention to wrestling, but I'm a guy, so WrestleMania sometime. I think was WrestleMania. I think it was Bret Hart at the Caesar Palace, and Hogan came out of nowhere.
Mhm.
That was the last one probably I saw. And in Canada, it cost like $100 back then to get the pay-per-view. It was so expensive. So we had a group of guys with $10 each.
Mhm.
And for some reason, it was always in the back of my head because I was such a fan. But for me, I want to be a hockey player.
Mhm.
I'm from Montreal. You want to play for the Canadian and stuff. So and I always trained to be a pro athlete. So when I become a model, because my physique was perfect for that job, when I came back from Europe and all my modeling stuff, wrestling came up as tough enough.
Mhm.
So that's why I went because it was a TV show and I was already doing TV show. They were looking for guys without wrestling background who can perform in front of the TV when the red light goes on and are willing to, get hurt, basically.
Mhm.
So that's why my agent sent me on a call and I went there. It used to be the WWF Cafe. I went there and that's all. Everything began for me in the wrestling.
So how was that process for Tough Enough?
You had to send a video back then. It was a collaboration with MTV, if I'm
Mhm.
correct, back then. So you had to send a video. Uh, they return your call. There was no web back then.
Mhm.
So I think we did a phone interview with someone with MTV, kind of checking your background, your history, social security, and stuff like that. And if you're approved, you are able to go to the audition in WWF Cafe, where you have to show up in front of WW executive. There was a ring there. There was actually people in the audience, and you have to perform a promo, and you had some skills, uh, obstacles, and jump rope, and some stuff to do in the ring. And I got to the second edition and the third that day. Uh, it didn't not work for me at the time because I was Canadian. I'm still Canadian, but because of the visa process, and it was a contest. Remember, there was
Mhm.
like $250,000 to win. So the lottery is involved, the government, and everything. So you have to be really legit. And it was only for U.S. citizens. So I was pushed out of that thing. But they said, "Hey, Sly, we really like you. You should come for the second one. Canadians going to be allowed." So a couple months goes, don't hear about wrestling at all. Start watching a little bit more, pay more interest, and the phone rang. pack your bag. You're coming to Vegas. Tough enough to blah blah blah. I was like, okay, I'm coming. For me, it's just a contract. It's a job, you know.
Hmm.
And I was packing the day before I left. The lawyers from NTV called and they said, Sly, it's not gonna happen. We cannot put you. You have to go through a process, a screening, and we cannot do that. So, what's going on? So, someone from talent relation, I think it was Johnny Ace. I can't really remember exactly, but I think it was Johnny Ace who was working on their JR at the time, and said, "Yeah, you're gonna have to do it the right way." I was like, "What's the right way?" So in Canada, I went to see Jacques Rougeau,
Hmm.
the Mountie, the Rougeau brothers. I was with them for like a week or two. After that, I went down to Dory Funk in
Hmm.
Ocala. He had a program, a TV show. You train for 7 days and you're on the TV show. So that's the wrestler's dream. You pay like, I can't remember how much thousands. You go there, you're a TV star in your own mind.
Hmm.
So I went there just to see if I could handle the physicality and stuff. And after that, I moved because I met Pat Patterson in Montreal, who's a Canadian also.
Hmm.
And he's the one who hooked me up with Rocky Johnson in Florida. By the time, I had no clue who Rocky Johnson was. No clue. I get there, it's a big storage facility, big garage door. I knock on the door. Someone with a chain, it's opening up, clang, clang, very, very slow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How can I help you, kid? My name is Sylvain. Pat sent me. Oh, that's you. Okay, come on in, come on in. Do some speed bag for 5 minutes. I'm gonna warm up. Speed bag. I never did speed bag in my life. I'm like, I'm with a boxer. I want to be a wrestler. So anyway, so we start talking. Look at the poster, Undertaker, Kane, The Rock, Hogan, and there was a WWF ring with the red, blue, and white
Hmm.
cable. I'm like, this guy is fucking legit. He's got a ring. The ring took the whole place. The WW rings, the 20 by 20,
Hmm.
and that was the old one with the spring. It hurt like a motherfucker. And because Rocky was so cheap, he didn't want to change the board, so he made the thing extra stiff, so the board won't move. And he had a good setup though. He had a other couple other students. Orlando Jordan was there, so he was the main guy I worked with in the beginning. Orlando was already phenomenal as a
Hmm.
wrestler, so I learned very quick because of him and the knowledge of Rocky. So that's how I started. And after that, they called me for the referee gimmick. They need a French Canadian for the No Way Out and WrestleMania with Hogan. That was a crazy ride.
Was there any initial plans after you doing the ref spots? Did they have a plan like to keep going, or what was going to happen there?
They, uh, the problem was my visa once again. I was not yet signed with the company. So even WrestleMania, I don't know how I had no paperwork.
Hmm.
So with Hogan, I was supposed to have a match with him.
Hmm.
Well, they were planning on, and of course, Finn would interfere, and I would beat Hogan. First match ever, I beat Hulk Hogan. I'm the best. I'm going to be the most hated guy ever. So I'm made. I'm a heel no matter what. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So I remember when Pat was telling me that because Pat was getting close to retire, but he was still in the meeting, and the guys were laughing. Said, "Oh my God, can you imagine if that kid come in, roll up the guy? His career is made." Hey, what'd you do your first match? Yeah, and the church, right? Church parking lot. I beat Hogan. It could have been phenomenal, but I was not close to be ready as a wrestler. But it could have been just
Hmm.
an in and out. And hey, I beat Hogan. I go back to hide and learn and come
Hmm.
back. And but yeah, the paperwork didn't work. And I think when I had my tryout at Cincinnati, they saw me and Renee.
Hmm.
And the war was happening. The friends were getting involved. They were like, 1 plus 1, there's might be money there. So that's how it happened. But yeah, it sounds crazy to talk
Hmm.
about it because it was only rumor. But can you imagine beating Hogan in first match?
Even
like the
if
Big
that's
Show, you
all
know.
you did,
But
like you're like, I beat Hogan.
you can lose every match. It's okay. I beat Hulk Hogan. Fuck. So
So
yeah,
when
it
it,
was cool.
it finally came time to sign that contract, was it a hard process? Because everybody that I've talked with, it takes time, or like if they come from England or something, it takes weeks, months.
Yeah, I signed in September. I remember. I have a picture of my mom as an album with all my stuff. I signed in September 2002, if I'm correct, and we had to prove to the United States that I was a professional in my own country. So then I was a
Hmm.
exceptional talent, but I wasn't. I was not a wrestler back in Canada. So back then, there was no Facebook yet, so social media was not even in the mind of anybody. But we found a guy, his name is GF. I worked with him years down the road, but he was good enough with computer. He was able to do press release and create websites with pictures, and man, it was that thick, my files. And it took about 4 or 5 months of wrestling indie in Montreal for a promotion that was really good, NCW, one of the most legit company in Canada. And so they were filming, there were pictures, interview, newspaper. And I was able to move to the States in the following was before or after Mania that year. Was close to the spring, and I moved to Louisville, Kentucky, OVW.
What was your first initial reaction to OVW?
I nearly got killed. I was a fucking idiot. Guys, I was already a performer. I was an entertainer. I did movies already. I did TV commercial in Europe and in Canada. So for me, be in front of the camera and process. So for me, it's a job. I know it's wrestling. There's rules. I don't know any rules. They don't teach you uh, the respect thing because I have respect for everybody.
Hmm.
That's just me. I respect everybody, but there's a level of respect in wrestling. And okay, you're in the business 3 minutes. You have to leave your chair there. You have to do, don't chew gum. I'm like some bullshit, stupid shit. Shake the hands of everybody. Why aren't you shaking everyone? Hey guys, what's up? That's it.
Hmm.
Look, I saw them 2 hours ago. Anyway, so a lot of bullshit. That shit doesn't happen those days
Hmm.
at WWE, but back then it was very particular for a guy, an outsider like me. So I remember, I'm at Rocky Johnson. I train 6 days a week, 4 or 5 hours. The ring for myself or close to. We have 4 or 5 guys, so we rotate a lot of ring time. I get to OVW, there's 40, 50 guys, fucking monsters and midgets and fucking fat guy and phenomenal girls athlete. I'm like, wow, what is this? And a lot of great wrestler, a lot of phenomenal technical wrestler. And I remember the first couple of days, I barely get in the ring, and blah, blah, blah. And I called Johnny Ace. Remember, I work with Hogan
Hmm.
already at WrestleMania. I work with The Rock in main event. You have a picture with me, Vince, and so for me, I'm already one of the boys. No, Big Show is not Big Show, it's Paul.
Hmm.
You know?
Hmm.
And so in my head, it went that way. So I go there, I'm like, yeah, Paul, because I said Paul, I got heat. No, it's not Paul, it's Big Show. Okay. So I called Johnny. He said, Johnny, how I'm gonna long as get to stay here? Can't learn anything. It's like, well, what do you mean, Sly? Can't learn anything? I got went in the ring 5 minutes. What the fuck? Johnny called down. What the fuck? The guys don't work out. Blah 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 blah. So they used to have class, let's say 2 or 3 hours a day. Everybody's banged up. They had shows on the weekend. I didn't know any of that. I'm just thinking about me, me,
Hmm.
me, me. I don't know anybody. I don't give a shit about anybody. I want to move up. It's more fun. It's more money over there. Johnny So they had a meeting. Hopefully, Johnny said, Slice said there. So the next day, everybody show up there, 8 o'clock. Say, yeah, we're gonna have practice 8 hours a day now. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody want to kill me. I remember a Red Dog and Dismore Conway. They want to rip my head off. This motherfucker. Now they had to take more bombs and more. I was like, I just want to get out of here. So I think that's one thing why they did La Resistance so quick because
Mhm.
they knew they were going to kill me and bury me in the hill, the Smoky Mountain or something. So they were like, let's get this guy out of there. So, yeah, but I didn't know.
Mhm.
I was like, man, fuck, I just want to wrestle and get out of here. But that was not the process. But when you start, your first gig is with Hogan.
Mhm.
So, you know,
How long were you in OVW before La Resistance came together?
a month. When I started there, they knew they were going to put me and Renee together.
Mhm.
They knew. Renee was the French phenom, I think, with Kelly Bonin, and he was doing great. He was over. Renee was phenomenal wrestler already when he was 17 or 18. So between the four pole, he was phenomenal. The problem was outside the ring.
Mhm.
So I was the opposite. I can manage the rest. Inside, it was I was not there yet. So yeah, they put us together. We went to New York, do some vignettes, and I would say less than a month, probably a month. We did the Steiner and Steiner rundown with Tess. He was working with Tess at the time as a tag team.
Mhm.
After a pay-per-view, after a Raw, we beat up Steiner, so we started a program with them. We went over on them, and after that, we went on to get Kane and RVD, if I remember correctly. So it went super fast. I would say from the day I got to WW, 3 months later, we were World Tag Team Champion.
That's pretty
So
quick.
yeah, but everybody was like, "What the fuck is this guy? This motherfucker!" And remember, because I have to pay my dues, every Raw we were on the road 4 days a week, 5 days a week. Come back to OVW, do their practice or their TV. But I was never on TV. I'm on TV on national TV. They're going to put me on TV over there and lose or whatever. So we were there for no reason.
Mhm.
So, but when I had time in the ring and with Rip and all those guys, Doug Basham, I learned phenomenal because they were so technically sound. So the little things that make it real, I got that from them. Uh, at Rocky, it was more the character, the persona, be flamboyant, make shit look good and
Mhm.
spectacular. So the skills, the stiffness was gonna make the shit look good was from OVW. There was a lot of talents there. A
Mhm.
lot.
When you got on the main roster, was that an easy transition for you? Like, 'cause you said you were comfortable being in front of the camera.
Yeah, that was the easiest part of the job. The rest it was to get, acclimate to the people. But I was a people guy, so there was no problem in having any friction with anybody. Sometimes I probably rub people the wrong way because they're not used to a guy like me. But hey, we all take a shit in the morning. We all eat
Mhm.
breakfast. Even if you're a zillionaire and I'm not, hey, we're all human being, right? We all the same color on the earth. So I never judge anybody or put anybody on a pedestal. Maybe I should have, but in my line of work, when you're on a movie set
Mhm.
and you're a waiter and the main character is sitting at a table, if you fuck up the scene, you fuck up the whole scene. If you're the main character,
Mhm.
so everybody's important in the scene. So for me, I was always thinking that way. When you're on TV, everybody has a part. So if you're tag team champ, you're not the main event. You just do a backstage session. It's as much important of the show that the main event because you cannot have main event with all those little parts of the story that make the main event bigger. So I was really good for that, for all the promos, the on cam and stuff. I was getting more comfortable. And in the ring, it was getting loud. But it took me, I would say, a good year in the ring, be very comfortable. Took me a year. That's what it takes. It takes a lot of matches, and I never had a lot of matches. So I think I got start getting comfortable after about 400 or 500 matches.
So when they put the titles on you, did they have any plans going forward, or they just want to see how it would work out? Because you guys
They were
did
looking
good.
for
They
they were
hated
looking
you.
for the heat, man. We have
Yeah.
natural heat. And I had a podcast the other day, and people can say anything they want, or rumors. Everybody at work I had fun with. I never hurt anybody. Everybody liked to work. Some people went to Vince, like Bob Holly's. I want to work with Sly.
Hmm.
Undertaker helped me also at one point because they like what they saw. I used to work with Chris. I worked with the greatest Edge, Ric Flair. I had a phenomenal career. Should have done more? Yeah, but I had a loud mouth. I didn't know how to play the game, and that hurt me in the long run. But am I happy with the career? Yeah, I did a fucking childhood dream.
Hmm.
I didn't play hockey. I was hosting a TV show in Canada for years. I was producing it also, and I interview athletes, a lot of Olympians, gold medalists, or hockey player. And I had a guy who was the same age as me. We went to the same, I was going to say wrestling schools, the same summer school for hockey. We were
Hmm.
both goaltender. I was like, how come you made it and I didn't? We went to the same school. We're supposed to be a very special level. He said, well, you made it in wrestling. I was like, yeah, but I want to be a hockey player. He said, yeah, but you become a pro wrestler because you want to become a hockey pro player. So you work so hard at one thing,
Hmm.
it pan out in another sport, but same result, right? You become a pro. So the work ethic was there, but sometimes it's not meant to be. And wrestling, it's such a mix of, for me, the cinema and telling a story and being in front of the public. That was my cup of tea. I was always really comfortable with that. So I think they had planned short term with Larry Styles. They say, hey, let's put it on those kids, see what happened,
Hmm.
because they're heels. So we can always beat the heel. We never see them again. They don't have t shirts. They don't have dolls yet. They don't have anything.
Hmm.
The only money we're going to make with them is we get heat. People want to see them get their ass kicked. So I think we run with that all the way to SummerSlam with the Dudleys, and so many stuff happened with the Dudleys. Good matches and pay-per-view matches, main event in Australia. So we had a lot of fun. We were lucky. We worked with one of the greatest tag team of all time. So and after that, I broke my neck, so I was out for 6 months. Rob took my spot because we had a third guy coming in.
Hmm.
So and when I came back, timing was perfect.
I feel like
Me and Rob went along.
go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, no, no. I would say after that 6 months, I came back. They did the WrestleMania 20.
Hmm.
Rennie went on his way, and I went up with Rob, winning three more championships that year.
Hmm.
That year.
I feel like for that time period, when they would bring up developmental or people from OVW, it was either it worked the first time or you're got like you said, they could have got the heat on you and then they got rid of you guys. For a lot of people during that time frame, it seemed like they got called up and then they were gone. It either worked
Well,
or they were like we have other people in developmental will try it.
the business was changing.
Hmm.
There was no more WCW. So there was nowhere the boys can go. There was no competition. So salary dropped. There were wrestling dropped in general. The Rock was already making movies. Stone Cold was hurt, was on and off. So the product was downhill, and viewership wise. So they were looking for characters. They were looking for a new solution. What are they gonna try? A big guy, a small guy. What kind of character works? Is it we were trying to be PG back then, so it was very difficult to adjust. You just came out of the Attitude Era; it was one of the biggest movement professional wrestling. Now you have to be clean. You try to attract the kids, but you want the money for the adults. It was a weird time,
Hmm.
and we had nowhere to go. So they had all the talent in the world. They had all those guys from WCW, signed them on a cheap contract. We have us, we were getting paid barely minimum salary. So Hey, it worked. We got a star.
Hmm.
Phenomenal. It worked. Now, next, let's move on. So yeah, there was a lot of try error.
Hmm.
Like think about Nick Disborn, Eugene. This guy is one of the best wrestler WWE ever had, and
Hmm.
he become the character Eugene. Did he did great with the character? Yeah. Could he done more as a real pro wrestler? I think so, but
Hmm.
you know, are they gonna change? You can't take Eugene of someone.
Hmm.
It's such a strong character. So they succeed at so much characters, but they fail at others. Sometimes you're able to switch, like Batista. He was able to switch from the bodyguard to evolution and blah blah blah. So it all depends when they give you the ball, what you do with it,
Hmm.
and you really have to roll. You don't fuck up. And we were lucky in the beginning when we were giving the ball. We did it.
Hmm.
Was it perfect? Probably not, but it was good enough. And we were carrying on the heat, and we were able to be there for all those matches with those guys. It was a fun time. But today, now you have AEW, so
Hmm.
everybody's really protective of their talent. They want to try many things before to release them because if you become a star somewhere else, all the money you invest in them is going away. So it's a different business.
Hmm.
And now there's billions, billions coming in every year. We didn't have that. We didn't have that.
Hmm. Is there any particular moments during your Law Resistance run that stand out more than others?
For me, my WrestleMania moment, even if I was with Hogan in the ring, was
Hmm.
very special in Seattle. My WrestleMania moment was in Montreal in front of my fan, winning the championship, beating Edge and Benoit for the World Tag Team. And
Hmm.
Benoit was the world champion at the time, so beating him in the middle of the ring, and it was a surprise match. It was not announced, and that day I gave close to 70 tickets, 7-0. That's a lot of people. Hard cam, just my friend from school, from the gym, guys I work out with, I play hockey with. So imagine the reaction. The guy, my friend is winning. It was the greatest moment. So that has to be the highlight. I went to Montreal a couple of times as a WWE, but that one is very magical.
When it came time to disband La Resistance and then they shifted your character, did you have any input on that, or is that something that they wanted to try because of your background?
When they split us up, when they dissolved the resistance, it's
Hmm.
because Mohamed Hassan.
Hmm.
They want to keep the USA heat on him.
Hmm.
And if they knew they were gonna have to drop the character, they would never do that with us. They regret it. So that's why they tried to put us back together with ECW, me and Renee. First of all, we were more mature, supposedly, and so they told us we're gonna be on every house show. What happened? On every house show, we're gonna start you as the tag team champs. So we had a great run coming for the next year or two in ECW. New people to work with, new way to do things. We can be more rough, more edgy on
Hmm.
ECW. So it was perfect. And something happened in Renee personal life the next day, and we got canceled. So, but we are undefeated in ECW. That's a
Hmm.
good thing.
So how was
But yeah, it would have been a great run.
mhm. So how was your singles run after La Resistance?
I had a couple. I had the model. The model should have worked.
Hmm.
Uh, the company and myself had different vision, and we were not quite able to make it really work. I have a couple of good program with Tanka and with I said his name, Bob Holly. We had a couple of paper. That was fun. I wish I could have done because the model could evolve. It could have
Hmm.
changed. It could improve. It could. So that was the character I should have fought for a little bit more. And it's a TV show, so sometimes they need you, sometimes they don't. And back then, I used to take it very personally, like, oh, they don't like me, and it's not like that. When they build the show, they have all those stories they want to tell, and well, they have 5 minutes left. What are we going to do with that 5 minutes? Do we do a match, or we do a segment backstage? Do we do a footage? Sometimes there's just no space for another match or for you because let's say there's five, six top guys, the rest were just around, right?
Hmm.
And once in a while we go in the middle, we go back out. So you have to know your role until you can be there steady and be a top guy or be a high middle card guy. So I never established myself long enough. And when they give me the ambassador gimmick, that's my fault. I fucked up because Vince really want to push the idea. It was like La Resistance, but as a single guy, so I still have the USCE, so it was easy. It
Hmm.
worked, good heel, and I was really comfortable in the ring right at that point. So no, I blew up backstage a gasket in front of everybody at Gorilla. Something happened, and I screamed at Johnny Ace, and I started losing to Vito on SmackDown every week for the past 3 4 weeks, for the next 3 4 weeks. So that was my fault.
Hmm.
So they gave me another break after, and something happened again in a house show. I took the microphone. I wasn't supposed to. I was like, "Ah, fuck, I cannot do nothing. I cannot. I, at that point, we were going your separate ways.
Hmm.
So some people didn't like what I was trying to do, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it somewhere else. No worries. So I went to work for TNA as the color commentator for 10 years. So
So when your release
still
came
under
up,
contract.
so when your release came about, it wasn't you weren't shocked by it because of just how the
Oh
relationship
no.
was going.
Oh no.
Hmm.
No, you knew. Yeah, I knew. We were doing a thing on the house show. It was doing great. It was me and Maurice. It looks like the Miss character,
Hmm.
what it is today or what it was. So me and Maurice, French Canadian, beautiful girl. We had an entrance. We had reaction I never had as a heel. People were like, "Whoa, I hate him, but this is cool. Like I
Hmm.
want to watch. I hope he get his ass kicked, but I want to watch that. That's cool. There's something happening." So I know Stephanie was really involved with that. It was like a dominatrix fashion, something like that. So and we had great house shows. And one house show I grabbed the mic because I was working outside Jim Duggan the first night. I'm in the ring with the beautiful Maurice. Accent run down with his 2x4, charge a ring. I'm a pussy heel, so slide out, put her in between. Be careful, don't hurt me, don't hurt my face, whatever. And the crowd was just crazy. It's one of the loudest reaction I ever heard. For some reason, it was a smaller building. Back then, we were running like university gym, like 3 4 thousand people. We were not able to sell the big arena, so it was very loud. There was 25 3,000 people in the small. It was crazy. And when Duggan, because Duggan's a legend, oh, people went nuts. So I tried to get in the ring, and every time he's charging me, and this guy was a football player. So when he comes at you, he comes at me. I'm like, whoa, stop, give me time. I tried to play the whole match went fantastic, but I grabbed the mic. I said, okay, you don't want to get me in the ring. Those people didn't pay enough money to see me and her. We got to go. So we leave. Obviously, come get me, blah, blah, blah. Throw me back in the ring. The match went good. 1 2 3. Got backstage. I get my ass chewed by Arn Anderson. I said, what the fuck's that? I told you in the meeting at the beginning, no microphone, and you're not supposed to grab. I was like, I'm sorry. I felt it. I was there. You're not in a position to feel anything. I was like, well, that's what a house show is supposed to be. Try things. No?
Hmm.
Okay. So, okay. What the fuck am I doing here? So, then next night or 2 nights after, I was losing to Kane, and Kane was a friend of mine. So, I'm sorry, Sly. So, boom, boom, boom. Okay, thank you. I'm going home.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So, that's happened, you know? They were fine without me, and I was fine without them.
Yeah. So how was life after WWE?
Well, lucky me, I was still under contract. So, when I got released, I had like 3 4 months. They let me renew my contract, but I had a gig in Montreal for TNA, so we were doing TV every two weeks. So I was making nearly the same amount of money for the base with WWE, so it was a good gig. I went back home, see my friends, blah blah blah. 2008, 2008 hit, so the all the houses crashes. Sold
Mhm.
my stuff here, moved back to Canada. It was great. I did some little bit of shows, but I didn't want to go to. Johnny said, "Go to Japan." I'm like, I don't want to fucking go to Japan. Let me go work and back. I'm gonna do something else. So I went back modeling, did TV shows and stuff. It was fine, but that's the thing. It's the afterlife. I was already having a gig right after. So it saved me the depression of not doing anything for 2, 3 years. What am I? What I'm going to do? I was able to do something else. It was still wrestling related, but I was not depending on WWE. So it was a relief. And I had good relationship with WWE. I was speaking to Vince or Johnny. I sent them some guys to look at and was going to the house show or TV when they were close by. So it was fine. And it's just if you can adjust doing something you love after WWE because wrestling doesn't always love you back.
Mhm.
Remember the promo of Dolph? You have to move on. You have to, it hurts, but it's like a split up. So find your bliss, find something else. Dolph loves to do uh, shows. He's a comedian, he's really good at it. So he found something else to fall on.
Mhm.
And he doesn't make money, he made money. So when you don't depend on that to survive, you're gonna be okay. So thank God now those guys make so much money in WWE now. If you can work 5, 6 years and be set if you're smart. So we didn't have that in my days because we were making good money, yeah,
Mhm.
but not like today because there was no competition. So instead of making 6, 7 base, we were making 2, 3 if you're lucky. So completely different business. But it's fun to see. Now I'm a fan. I keep watching. I love WrestleMania. I don't watch AEW, but I see the Facebook
Mhm.
page, so I see what's going on and the rumors and the stuff. But that makes people work and talk, podcast.
Mhm.
So it's a great business. I think it's one of the best time. I can't wait for SummerSlam. See what's gonna happen. I feel Brock's gonna come back, so I'm excited for that.
It'll be. I like that they're doing stadium shows more often now. Like it shows you how
I'm
much it's
I'm
growing.
yeah, but aren't you surprised? Okay, the show is good, but to sell 60, 70,000, it's a lot of shit, a
Yeah.
lot of tickets, a lot of shit to sell. And they sell out and they sell out. I'm like, WrestleMania, I understand, it's special. But SummerSlam, I'm like, okay, why not? Royal Rumble, I remember when I first came back in the WWE, I went to the Rumble when Edge came back. I'm like, that's a big stadium for a Rumble. I'm like, wow, it's sold out. It's crazy. So I remember Kevin Dunn said, yes, live. We make billions now. We have money to pay everybody. I was like, okay. I wrestle in the wrong years. But yeah, like fuck, I make more money as an agent. I was working 5 days a week as a fucking worker. But no, it's a good time to be a pro wrestler. So I'm so glad those guys who work so hard for no money and fucking shitty house show now they making a big fortune. So good for them. Good for their family.
Absolutely.
And it's easier on the body. The schedule is easier on the
Mhm.
body, and they have doctors, concussion protocols, so they're well surrounded.
If you had any advice to give to anybody getting into professional wrestling, what would it be?
Get a following. They don't look for guys who can do headlocks, who can do a promo. They have that.
Mhm.
They look for followers. You have to bring something with you. Body, everybody has a great body. Everybody can talk, everybody can wrestle. You need to bring a following, create a buzz, create a character that's so new, can be an old one, new again, or
Mhm.
make twist on it so people talk about it, so you have followers number to show for. So when you do go to a show, an indie show, but there's 150 people, they all know you and they scream at you. because they have their phone out and they follow you live. I don't know. That's what I would do because all those guys with WWE, when they leave WWE, they don't need to work because they have 2 million, 3 million, 5 million followers. They can make 20, 30 grand a month just with that,
Hmm.
selling bullshit protein or workout or show their butts, whatever they want to do. It works. So it's the same thing when you want to come in. Now you need a following because they want ratings. They're able to sell those $1 billion for Netflix because they want people who can bring viewers. Logan Paul, why they signed Logan Paul?
Hmm.
What he brings to the table. Yes, he's a great athlete. They don't give a shit.
Yep.
Bring me your audience. Bring me your audience. Bring me your prime. Yeah, we put it in the middle of the ring. No problem. Bring me your stuff. Bring me your podcast. Put our guys on your podcast. Bring more viewers to my guys. Well, my guys become more famous because of your podcast, because of you sign with us. It's a big wheel.
Hmm.
So that's what you need. Get really strong on social media. Find your niche. Make it bigger. Make yourself talk about. The move are fucking relevant. Get
That's.
into the destroyer is not even a finish anymore.
Mm-mm.
Super kick is not a finish anymore. So moves are don't even talk about it. Create yourself a character and a following. Create a persona. Create something, a buzz. Think you're a product. How are you going to sell yourself? How people want to consume you. It's very I need to find the right word. It's very self-centered, but that's what you have to do because
Hmm.
you're selling yourself. So you have to create that. That's what I would do. If I was 20, I would do outrageous stuff or something to make myself known that nobody else does. I don't know. So I would probably, you remember the Wedding Crasher?
Uh-huh.
I would do the Wrestling Crasher. Go in a show, go in the ring, clothesline two, three people, walk out. That's it. And shoot that live. I have a team shooting me live.
Hmm.
Can you imagine the reaction? Now some guys like, that's a great fucking idea. Let's do it. Yeah, you might get arrested also. But I mean, shit like that. So you just show up if you're like you remember like the Sandman entrance?
Hmm.
You didn't do shit, just the entrance. So you have some kind of entrance, some kind of something. You come in, boom, 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 and you leave. You don't beat and you don't want to win. You just want to beat up people and go. That's it. So shit like that.
Where can people reach out to you at?
Uh-huh.
Where can people reach out to you at?
You guys want to speak? Sly Perso on Instagram. Now I do personal training, coaching online. So if you guys need help, I don't do bodybuildings. I do people who want to get in shape, who have physical issues, asthma. They have already some limitation. I'm really good at that. And I won't get to get you in the best shape of your life, but it comes with nutrition and coaching and sometimes hormone replacement therapy. I'm 47, so I go from my specialty is between 30 and 60 years old.
And where can they reach out to you to get
Mhm.
involved with that?
On my Instagram,
Okay.
very easy. Just send me a DM on my Instagram. I post some stuff. Sometime I have more time. You know, I try to preach what to do, but I can't even do it. I have a family, I have businesses, but yeah, social media is the key now. Everything is there. Look at you. Your job 20 years ago was a radio host,
Hmm.
but you're very limited on radio time and
Hmm.
radio channel. Now you become your own show. You just yourself. There's no 20,000 technician. You send a link. There we go. The world can see us. So it's a beautiful tool when it's well used. So
Absolutely. I just want to say thank you for taking some time out today, sir. Thank you for
thank you.
what you've done for professional wrestling and what you continue to do. It's been an honor. I got to see you from, when OVW to your WWE run to everything. So it's been a lot to be able to sit down and talk today.
When did you become a fan?
So it would have been that era I was talking about would have been like the 2000. in two. Like I feel like those guys from like
Oh,
2002 to 2005. Like I remember my first WrestleMania was 14 that I watched. But like going to shows and stuff, OVW was the first one that I got to go to. So like you guys during that specific time period, I got to see a lot because you guys would travel and do different. You were in that Kentuckiana area, so everybody from OVW would they go up to Seymour, they'd go here, there, Indiana, Kentucky. So that was wrestling for me when I was younger.
and were you a WCW guy growing up? Were you a WW guy? Who was your favorite?
I was WWE. I'm a Bret Hart guy.
Oh, really? Okay.
The best there
So you
is.
proud. So what do you think about the product right now? The difference between WWE and AEW?
I honestly feel like you can see some changes coming in WWE, and it just seems like people that they wouldn't have taken a chance on a year or two ago, they're just giving them the ball. It feels like, or they're gonna see they're actually gonna give them longer than a week to get it over and see if it works. Those group of
But
people they brought back, like Drew McIntyre is a perfect example. Look what they were doing 10 years ago. And if you'd have said Drew McIntyre would be WWE champion 10 years ago when he was three-man band, nobody would have believed you.
but the problem is when they got there, when we start, like me, when you start, you're a fucking kid.
Hmm.
For me, when I watched Hulk Hogan, who was world champion, I never saw Hogan. He was 20 years old. I never saw him. You're not
Hmm.
ready at 20 years old.
That's true.
You know, the only guy was ready at 20 was probably Randy
Hmm.
because he was so fucking good and natural. But The Rock, his prime, he was 29, 30, 31. Stone Cold, same thing, late 30. You need time to find yourself, to fuck up, to learn, to go. Because now they get you in WWE, you go from training NXT. Okay, now become a The Rock. Because it doesn't happen overnight. Look at
Hmm.
Roman. It took 7, 8 years
Yep.
before he found himself and feels comfortable with every ounce of himself. So it takes time to build, and sometimes it takes more time, some others, sometimes it's more
Hmm.
fast. So it's, yeah, I think they give the ball because now it's time to give them the ball
Yep.
because they felt it was not ready. They give them some, like I was saying, the TV show. They were there, they did great there. Okay, let's put him here closer to the middle to see how he react. Oh, he did good. Okay, let's try one time, put him there. Oh, that was fantastic. Okay, put him back there. We know we can probably do something in a couple of months with them. But they have story going on. So they think long run.
Yep.
And with the easier schedule, there's less injuries, I would say, and
Hmm.
with the cold plunge and the new therapy and everything, and helps all the athletes, especially wrestlers. So I think they play with that now, but time, it takes time, you know?
Hmm.
Kevin Steen was a great worker 20 years ago. Is he a better worker? No, he's a better performer.
Hmm.
He probably do less than he used to do, but now he knows when to do it and when to put his body on the line when it makes sense,
Yep.
how to make Stone Cold look good. So it takes time to become that whole, that thing that he can
Absolutely.
put the company on your back for a couple of weeks or for a couple of months. So I think they do that. They try to see who's got that in them. And same thing with Cody. They probably brought Cody in. Okay, we'll see what he does. Okay, main event. Okay, that was good. Why not yet? Well, because he just came back. We're not sure. He's not on board yet. He was, but he's not.
Hmm.
And put him in situation, and he rose to the occasion. Now he's the man. So I think he's one of the perfect example.
Hmm.
And Hogan did the same thing in the 80s. He went away to come back bigger when he did the Stallone. Yeah, you don't want me? Okay, let me go do a movie. He was a bigger star.
Hmm.
Was it the better worker? No, he was a bigger star. That's what WWE is. You're looking for star for viewership. So yes, now it's time for Priest to have the ball, but they test him so many times
Yeah.
before. Can he run with it? Yeah, now it's his time. It's his time. And I'm surprised how good he is. Now you can see him, the more spotlight on him. Before he was part of something, now he is the thing. So it's cool. I think they do. I don't know if it's because Vince is gone or anything, but I think what's coming with W, the way Triple H handled it as a worker and the way he surrounded himself with the kind of people, I think it's just good for the boys. I think
Hmm.
they all gonna have a chance, and it's really storytelling oriented, a little bit like in the days of the Attitude Era. Everybody had a story. Val Venus had a story. Rey Mysterio had a story. The tag team had the story. The main event had a story. Kurt had a story. The first guy had a story. So I think we're going that way again. And the product is good. The product is good. They changed their way to to shoot the show, the different
Hmm.
angles, different everything changed. So I think it's a good thing. The TKO merging thing helps a lot of ways. So it's a good time to be in wrestling. You're still as much involved. I know you do a podcast, but do you watch every week? Is
Yeah,
it a religion for you?
yeah. I would say it is again now. There was a time period where it wasn't, but I think when they brought up the merger, I think a lot of people were scared, but now it's really been kind of a good thing for everybody involved. And with Triple H, it is a good thing. It is maybe more people have like freedom to be like, hey, can we try? This is my idea instead of just automatically shut down. I feel like there's some give and some take more often now.
And I'm gonna bring something to the table. It's pretty. I don't want to be unsensitive, or it's kind of weird. Probably the first guy's gonna bring it up, but Triple H got sick,
Hmm.
right? Came back, feel better. I'm so happy. He's great. Everything changed. His life perspective changed for his family. He said in an interview, but not just for that, for work too.
Hmm.
He saw everything different because now he's not the same guy. He had a scare and he's fragile like anybody else. And now you want to share every moment and you want to live, you want to fight, you want to taste everything and feel everything because you know it can be taken away tomorrow. And I think has a lot to do with the show being so emotional, so dramatic, so energetic. I think maybe I'm fucking crazy, but I think it has a lot to do with what happened to him because it brings. I know I'm a dad too. I have two girls. I think he has three, and it brings something else out of you, a new emotion. And I think we see new stuff coming out of Triple H. Probably he didn't know he had a lot of empathy. He can play more on sentiment and on feelings and emotion. And it's a roller coaster ride now. The main event WrestleMania, I was like, wow, it was so good. So I think that bad thing, become great for the business because I think it changed the man, opened his eyes, opened his heart, opened a new vision to appreciate, to maybe more given to
Hmm.
some, if that makes sense, to an extent. So it gives break to other people, and okay, let's try this. Why not? Let's do it. We'll see. Oh, it worked. Great, good. Let's keep rolling with it. So I think that a lot to do with it. So hopefully it doesn't happen again to anybody.
Hmm.
But I think it was one of the reasons. And Triple H, they give him the ball and he rolled with it.
Hmm.
It's a tough shoes to fill. Believe me, probably scary for him, but Stephanie's there. He has the whole people, the older crew, but you have new talents coming in,
Hmm.
all the agents. So they have a good gang right now, and they on a roll. They have people from WCW. They have people from TNA now backstage. They have people from AW. They have people from Indie. So the whole mixture and some more social media guys. So they have ears and eyes everywhere. So I think it helps the product every day.
It'll be a brighter future. I,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you for coming on today. I appreciate it. I'd like to do this again
Thank
sometime
you,
if you'd
man.
be up to it.
Of course.